Ladies and gentlemen, the Division I state championship boys basketball team from Rutland High. I bet you can't hear that too many times, right, Mike? Matter of fact, We Are the Champions was played, of course, at the Patrick Gym after you had won, and Mike actually didn't walk in here. He's still floating on in here. But, Mike, all of us, as you know, we're so proud of what you guys did. We're so happy for you. We'll talk to the guys that are here, too. They'll be stepping in. But what can you say? That burden that you guys carried, even though you did it with class and you knew what you had to do this year, and you got the job done.
Right, and we see that banner, that 1967 banner, every day when we go to practice. But I can honestly say it's not something we talked about every day. We knew that we were going to have a solid team, a good group of returning guys, some nice additions as well. And going into the season, everyone talked about us as a preseason favorite, and the only thing we really talked about was we're going to embrace that target. We're going to have fun with it, and I think we did. I mean, we definitely embraced it. We had fun. There are a lot of milestones along the way. We celebrated those, and ultimately we were able to win the championship, which certainly was a goal as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned about the individual goals, Nathaniel Kingsley, and also Kyle Casarino reaching 1,000 points. One thing I mentioned to you after the game is I said you and your dad were like the second father-son combination. A couple of others have come in since that time. There's been at least 4 father-son combination. You mentioned it's Rutland being the first state champion from the South since your dad did it back in '99. So was your mom at the game, by the way?
My mom was not at the game, but
okay.
Both my mom and dad did watch the game on NFHS.
Okay, so how quickly did you talk to your parents after? I know your dad's been under the, he's been in the hospital a few times, and I wish him the best.
But he's my first call after every game.
Okay.
So he's lots of text messages, lots of calls. But he's always my first call, and he was after that game as well, and he couldn't have been more excited. And it's pretty cool, the last 2 championships from the South, my dad being at the helm of one and me the other. So
yeah, and
it's pretty neat.
And your dad, so how many minutes was it between the final whistle and the final buzzer and the time you talked to your dad?
It was a while. It was probably about an hour.
Okay, you had to wait to cut down.
When you haven't cut the nets down in 50 years, you got to spend some extra time there.
And quickly, a great story about. I know I happened to see a few myself of the '67 team there. There were probably other guys there that I didn't see, but the great story, and I know it's been well documented now about the Jim Leamy, the '67 jacket, and. I didn't happen to see that myself. I saw the picture of it later, but that had to be quite a story too.
It's a very interesting story for sure. I mean, it's a jacket that Jim, was holding on to or had found, maybe cleaning out some closets. He dropped it off coincidentally during a basketball camp that we were having over the summer, and some of the guys were there, and I think maybe we were supposed to put it in the trophy case or something, but we decided to take it with us on trips and to home games and things such as that. And it never made its way out of the locker room until after the last game. But no, it's something that it traveled with us, and it's a neat little story for sure.
And it worked.
and it worked. So I don't know that it will ever get back to the trophy case. It might just travel with us wherever we go next year as well.
And we might add Jim, of course. He's going to be inducted into the VPA Hall of Fame. Jim Leamy, the last coach to win a championship. You stay right there, Mike. We'll have 2 at a time come in. We want to make sure they have the Sharpies there to sign our banner. But if the guys want to come in 2 at a time at the introduce themselves and
sure.
Again, if they're seniors, what they might want to do in their future. I know there were 4 or 5 seniors on your team. We're talking to the Division I state champs from Rutland High, boys basketball state champs. Come on in, fellas. 2 at a time here. And
2 at a time?
No, you can stay there, and we've got the 2 mics.
Step
Of course, I recognize a lot of these guys. We've had an opportunity. We talked to a few of them right after the game the other day. But introduce yourselves. I know again, I know who you are, but let the folks know who you are there.
I'm Matt Lorman.
And Matt's and both are seniors.
Yeah.
And I'm Tyrell Johnson.
Tyrell Johnson. Both of you, of course, it's so much a big part of the game the other day. Matt, you scored 18. You've been here before because we talked to you before you went to Australia a couple of years ago. And I get the feeling that being a cross-country runner, not that all you guys were, of course, all of you were in great shape anyway, but I get the feeling, you probably don't remember John Havlicek, but I don't know if your dad ever told you about John Havlicek or not, but I got the feeling that you could have been out there for like both of you, as a matter of fact, 100 minutes in a row with no break.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot. Well, we practice a lot, so I mean, we're in really good shape.
And of course, your great grandfather played on the '33 state championship team, 1933. So
yeah.
Now, what are you planning on doing in your future?
Headed to college, I think, at University of New England as of right now.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, best of luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Tyrell, you, of course, I mean, you were just all over the place defensively.
Yeah.
You know, people forget, Mike, Tyrell had that big three-point play in there somewhere where, you get the bucket, the old-fashioned three-point play. That was a big part of the game the other night. All of you, such a team effort. I know it's a lot of times when teams win championships, people say team effort, but and then the suffocating defense, and you were a big part of it.
Yeah, I think it just takes us working hard on defense. It gets us a lot of openings on offense.
And what are you planning on doing in your future?
I'm going to go to college. I'm not too sure exactly
Okay.
what college I'm going to go to, but I plan on playing basketball.
All right. Well, there you will be lucky to have either one of you when the University of New England. You planning on playing basketball there, Matt? Or
I'm not sure yet, but I'd be open to it.
And Tyrell, I'm sure that some coaches have talked to you, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
We have a Sharpie there. If you want to turn around and right there, the banner, and then we'll let the next two guys in here. Mike, the other day, we talked to you after the game, of course, in window overtime, the victory over CVU. And you had the game under control. You had the 7-point lead, had the ball looking to go up by 9, and they came back and they tied and everything. A lot of times, and we already talked to you about this, but a lot of times teams don't seem to recover. Once the team catches you, but your team turned right around. Thanks, fellas. And the next two can come in. Yeah, your team turned right around and dominated in the overtime period.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Tyrell's three-point play was a big play. Certainly, we had momentum there, and then they had a big block. Or I think Tyrell actually got a steal on maybe the next possession, and we weren't able to capitalize, which I think would have been a good play to go up 9. But they actually ended up scoring, I think, to get it to 5. So it was a big 4-point swing, but. What I said after regulation was we play 4-minute games in practice all the time. And we just talked about it being another 4-minute game. Obviously a little bit more importance, but I thought the defense was outstanding for obviously regulation, but it was even more impressive during the overtime. So
yeah, it sure was. And we got two other members of that state championship team. Who do we got here?
Hi, I'm Jimmy Mee. And I'm Noah Tyson.
And Jimmy is a senior and Noah's a junior, so you're back next year, Noah. Jimmy, what are your plans for next year?
I'm going to college, still deciding where right now. Waiting to hear back from a couple schools in the Carolinas. So once I hear that, I'll probably decide.
All right. And as we said, Noah's going to be back next year. Noah, I see all the time. He's practicing with all the players over at Castleton and everything. And how many of the players from the Castleton team talked to you before and after? I'm sure they talked to you all year about your season, Noah, but I guess
a lot of them talked to me about it before going into the game, playing confident and playing relaxed, acting like you've been there before. And then after the game, they all congratulated me. It's a pretty big deal for them, too.
Yeah, because you guys, as we know, you had the snowstorm the next day, and you had a couple of days off, and I'm thinking, wow, they still have a couple of days before they can go into, down the halls of Rutland High and say, hey, look at that.
By that time, the novelty had worn off.
and Noah had, we go back, we talk a lot about the championship game, but Noah in the semifinal game that went to the wire had the big block shot, at the end. That people always look back at that one too, Noah. The big block shot that Burlington was looking to tie the game on that shot.
Yeah.
So
that block, I mean, I kind of got lucky, to be honest with you. I got screened. I didn't see it come in, and my man caught the ball. The toes were on the line. I thought it was going to be good, and luckily I got a piece of the shot.
Hey, it worked, and you're a state champion. You guys can sign our banner there. We got the pens right here, and 2 more guys coming in. Again, congratulations both Noah and to Jimmy. 2 more as we're talking to the Rutland High State Championship Division I state title team here. And again, it's come on in, fellas. I'm gonna and all right, and you guys can go to that those mics and introduce yourselves. And again, I know we have a couple of seniors here. Hi, introduce yourselves. I know who you are, but I hate to say that like I know who you are. We all know who you are, but just introduce yourselves.
I'm Kyle Castorino. I'm a senior.
I'm Nathaniel Kingsley. I'm also a senior.
And we just mentioned both of them. They were both 1,000-point scorers, which is that's an individual thing. But and there have only been 6 at Rutland High that have been able to do that. But the team thing overcomes that, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I think we were both happy that we got 1,000. But I mean, we talked together. We each had one goal, and that was winning a championship together. So.
And I don't want to answer the question for you, Kyle, because I know where you're going to college. You're going to Skidmore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Thoroughbreds.
Yeah.
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 Are you planning on playing over there?
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about maybe possibly walking on, but I'm not sure right now.
And Nathaniel has got a Castleton sweatshirt on. Is that any indication? Or
Yeah, I'm going to Castle.
okay, that's investigative reporting on my part. That's good. Both of you, terrific. Just a big part of the championship team, and wow, state champions. What else can you say? And again, you guys can sign the banner there too. All right, 2 other guys coming in here as they're doing that. As we're talking to the state champions from Rutland High boys basketball, and it was a week ago last night at the Patrick Gym. There were 3,003 on hand there, Mike, just a little bit shy of what the UVM had a couple of days before for the America East.
The crowd was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure
the
was.
support we've had all year, both at home games and on the road, whether it be the student section or just the community, was absolutely outstanding. I think probably one of the greatest memories these guys will have from it will be the parade and the escort coming back into town. Just
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
unbelievable amount of cars and support and well-wishers. It's really been outstanding.
And who do we have here? Go ahead.
Jared Nelson.
Hi.
I'm Brendan Crossman.
Hi, how are you? And again, know your dad and mom, by the way. No, matter of fact, know a lot of the dads and moms out there, too. It's a small town. There's nothing like winning a championship in a town like this, right, Mike?
Small town championships are certainly extra special.
And both you guys are juniors, of course, so you're coming back next year. So it was a terrific experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you guys sign it as well. We'll talk to you guys next year. I want to mention when Kyle was in here, by the way, he did hit the 4. He was 4 out of 4 from the line during the overtime, and of course won in the 3rd and 5th grade the hoop shoot contest of the Elks Club. So it kind of worked out for him years later. Didn't it?
It did. I'm sure the stakes were a little bit higher and the anxiety was a little more intense, but lucky for us, he's confident in those situations and was able to knock them down.
Who else do we have here?
I'm Jared McGlory.
Drew Steiner.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Jared, when he was like 10 years old, got a baseball at Fenway Park. You ever hear that story?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Brings it to practice every day.
Yeah, and let's see. What do you guys? Obviously, you guys are back next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, both of you.
I'm actually a senior.
Okay, I'm sorry. And what are you planning on doing in the future?
I'm going to go to Castleton, and I think I'm going to major in psychology.
Okay.
And just relax, have a good time.
Yeah, well, you got to be careful. If you relax and have too good of a time at college, you don't make it to your
Oh,
sophomore
I
year.
understand, yeah.
I mean, how do I know? I only got by my freshman year. But hey, both of you guys, great to see you. Congratulations.
appreciate that. Thanks for having us.
And don't forget to sign our banner there.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. And who do we got next here?
We
Come
have
on.
two. We got two left. We got Ian and Jameson.
Before Jared, I just repeat. I'm not sure that I caught his name.
Andrew.
Oh, okay, that's
Ristania.
Andrew. Okay, I just want to make sure that we get his name out there. I'm not sure if everybody heard Andrew's name. Yeah, you guys can. When you're the coach 50 years from now, and hopefully you've won about 50 championships in the meantime, you can sign it again.
Hopefully, we've been knocking on the door a long time, and now that we finally knocked it down, hopefully we can knock it down again.
And
that'd be fun.
I bet. Hi, who do we got here?
I'm Jameson Evans.
And I'm Ian Carney.
And Jameson is a sophomore, and Ian is a junior. Jameson's been here before too. We mentioned the hoop shoot with Kyle Casarino, but you won just a couple of years ago, right?
Yes, I did. I went to nationals 2 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah. Well, wow. Yeah. So you have guys that won. Jameson was here right around that time when he was going to go to the nationals or the New Englands, and so free throw shooting is so important, and they learned how to do it at a young age.
Hopefully, it'll pay dividends later again.
Well, again, congratulations to both of you, and again, it's a good feeling to be a champion, huh?
Yeah.
I'll let you guys sign that banner as well. Talking to the Rutland Division I state champs, and I know you guys. 94.5. Uncle Dave wants to talk to you too.
Yes.
Upstairs. Make sure you sign it, Mike. And now
I will.
Chris was with you, of course, your brother, and he was the coach of the national champions at St. Joe's women last year. So
right, he could be the lucky charm for all we know. I mean, the last 2 years he's been pretty lucky.
Yeah, well, it might not be the jacket; it might have been him.
That's true. That's true. So we'll have to bring both back next year. And
I guess so.
Through the process of elimination, we'll get rid of one of them.
TJ Sabaka, of course, part of the coaching staff too.
Yes, TJ is a long-time assistant.
Did we catch everybody? Was everybody on the team here today?
We were Jack Morgan.
Oh, okay.
We were missing.
Okay.
And Keegan Bliss.
Okay.
I believe they're both ill.
The other day I asked. I don't know how well you're familiar with the players from the other team. CVU had a player named Bliss. Any relation between? I asked some people from Burlington if there was to the Bliss family here in Rutland, but
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
There's one person that was interested and called us up about that, and So I didn't think there was either. Some people from Burlington told me, but. Mike, I got to tell you again, what a great group of kids that they have here. We all know that they're state champions, and I was there when you were in the championship the last time. You had probably the greatest locker room speech I think I've ever heard, and I know it came from the heart, but I bet this one was even better though.
This one was it was even better. But you had mentioned having great kids, and I think as coaches, what we ask of our guys every day is they come work hard. They set a great example. These guys have been an unbelievable group to coach, each and every one of them. Tremendous character, tremendous work ethic. And I just feel really certainly honored and humbled to have had the opportunity to work with all of them.
Yeah, they did well said. They did everything that they were asked to do.
They did.
And
they did.
Again, they won the state championship.
Exactly.
Can't ask for more. Mike, make sure you sign that banner.
I will.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Jack, for having us on
today. Say
hi
to Mom and Dad, and I know they're very proud.
I will. Thank you.
Right, thank you. All right. Again, congratulations to Rutland High, the Division I state champions in boys basketball.